Lieutenant Tony Bobulinski, nice Irish boy and the bane of Joe Biden's existence. I think that what Bobulinski's statement that he just released pretty much just ties a bow right around all of these leaks that have been coming via Giuliani from Hunter Biden's laptop that was dropped off at that computer repair place in Delaware. It already looked really, really bad. You had all these emails with all this innuendo about the big guy, which probably was Joe Biden, it looked like, how there was, $10 million being get to him, half his salary going to Joe Biden. All of this looked very bad, considering Joe Biden said that he had no knowledge of his son's overseas business ventures. But, there was still, if you wanted to, if you were a Democrat, you could believe that this was fake if you wanted to and say, well, it's coming from Giuliani. And, the media was saying that Giuliani is a Russian asset and that all of these emails were made up by Putin, just like wink, wink, Hillary's emails were, even though nobody ever denied that, or the Podesta emails, nobody ever denied that those were real. But wink, wink, nudge, nudge, that was really just Russia doing that, because that was from WikiLeaks. You can't trust WikiLeaks. And the same thing now with Giuliani. Well, Giuliani's a partisan, which, being a partisan Republican means that you're a Russian asset. We already learned that from 4 years of Russiagate conspiracy theories. And so while I thought that this was still powerful enough to sway perhaps a lot of the suburban Republican types who were not necessarily democratically inclined to begin with, I think that now with Bobulinski, what he came out and said, that this might actually even affect the turnout of loyal Democrats, because this just looks so bad. And Bobulinski has a lot of credibility because he's not only a third-generation, military veteran, which voters love veterans. I don't really know why, but they think that veterans have a lot of credibility. They have kind of bipartisan respect, and of course he's a lifelong Democrat. So, what exactly did Bobulinski say? Well, Bobulinski came out as one of the guys who was receiving emails from Hunter Biden. Some of these emails that have been released publicly were sent to Tony Bobulinski, and he was Hunter Biden's business partner in China. And so this was some kind of joint venture between Hunter Biden, Bobulinski, and the Chinese government, because you can't start businesses in China without being involved with the Chinese government. It's the law there. You have to be in bed with the government in order to do business in China. That's just how Chinese law works. And so this guy Bobulinski is apparently very upset that the media is just smearing this as Russian disinformation, because that implicates him, because he is one of the people in these emails, the emails sent to him, and so he doesn't like having his name tied up with the idea of Russian disinformation. He says that he feels some sort of patriotic duty to come out and to say that these emails are not fake. They were not invented by Putin. Yes, these are emails that I really received. I was there. I worked with Hunter Biden. I know this stuff happened. Oh, and by the way, when Hunter Biden references the big guy, he's talking about Joe Biden. And so there you go. There's your mic drop moment right there. We have a witness. We have a fairly credible guy, a Democrat, who worked with Hunter Biden in China, saying that, the big guy that's referenced here, that's getting all this money from these companies, from the Chinese, funneled through Hunter Biden. Yeah, that's Joe Biden. And it's not just that, they were conducting business in China and Joe Biden was getting a little bit of a cut, and Hunter, assuming that, well, maybe these guys did business with me because of my name, maybe I got some advantage from that, I'm going to give kickbacks to my dad just as a thank you. That wasn't it. This guy, Bobulinski, says that he actually left their joint venture because it became clear to him that neither the Chinese nor the Biden family considered this to be a serious business operation. They were not looking to make money actually doing business and being, capitalists or anything like that, that this was purely an influence peddling operation. And that Hunter Biden looked at this as a piggy bank, and the Chinese looked at it as an investment in, I guess, the loyalty of the Bidens. And so the way Bobulinski said that this whole racket worked was that Bobulinski, slaving away trying to, run the business like a business, had no help from the Bidens or the Chinese. All the Chinese would do was throw money at the business, and then Hunter Biden would just take a bunch of that money that was injected into the business, write himself and his dad a check, and just extract money constantly. And so Bobulinski said, okay, so this is not a real business. We're not here looking to make money. We're not doing anything in good faith. The Chinese are just buying support from Hunter and Joe Biden. And so that's when he says that he left the business. And this guy claims to be a Democrat. He says that he's only ever donated to Democrat candidates, which should be public record. So if that's not true, I'm sure the media will have already exposed it. And so if you're not hearing about that on CNN, I guarantee you he's not lying about it. Now, this is pretty bad timing for Biden because this is breathing new life into the story right on the day of the debate. Before the debate is happening, Joe Biden has been hiding out in his basement, I guess doing debate prep, and also trying to dodge this story for a few days, hoping that things would, maybe die out by the time the debate rolled around. And of course, the moderator is not going to bring this up at all at the debate. It's not going to be mentioned. But now Trump's got a lot of ammo to unleash tonight, as long as he does it in an artful way. But I mean, this I don't know how you can get more damning than this statement from Bobulinski. This is a witness who seems pretty credible, saying that some pretty bad stuff went down between Joe Biden, and China. And so now Trump can credibly make the accusation at the debate that Joe Biden is bought and paid for by the Chinese, that Joe Biden, likely when he is president, will act as a Chinese agent. How the tables have turned from people calling Trump a Russian agent. Now, is Trump really going to, convince Biden supporters that Biden is a Russian puppet or is a Chinese puppet? Probably not. But what he's going to do is he is totally going to destroy, as I've been saying, what the goal should be. What Trump has to do in order to win this election is smear Biden's newfound sterling reputation, because that's been Biden's entire campaign. There's no substance to Biden's campaign other than Obamacare is good and I'm a nice guy and I'm clean. If we find out that, Joe's not such a nice guy, that he's not so clean, well, then his whole campaign falls apart. Then all he has left is Obamacare. And that's not enough. You can't win an election just on saying, I like Obamacare. Now, unfortunately for Trump, a lot of people have already voted. Your Democrat support turned out early and by mail. So there's a lot of folks who might have been deterred to vote if they had known all this about Joe Biden, had they not voted ahead of time. But the good news is there's still a lot of Democrat voters left who haven't voted yet, and perhaps a lot of, suburbanites who haven't voted yet, who are planning to vote for Biden because, he's that good guy that, that they can turn on the TV and the president can be talking and their kids can, he sets a good example for them. Well, now he doesn't set a good example for anyone's kids. And so even if these people are not going to vote for Donald Trump, they at least will stay home and not go vote for Joe Biden. And as I said, what really crippled Hillary Clinton in 2016 was that she was seen as so corrupt. That was what killed her at the end, was that she was seen as a, just another corrupt politician. Well, Joe Biden, from everything I've seen, this is way, way worse. And I thought it was way worse yesterday. It's gotten even worse now. You're having people who worked with Joe Biden in these corrupt ventures coming out and saying, Joe Biden's a really corrupt guy who's bought and paid for by China. I mean, what bigger gift could the Trump campaign ask for than this? So all I've got to say is that coming out of this debate tonight, the story needs to be about Joe Biden. The focus needs to be on Joe Biden, not Donald Trump. Donald Trump is very good at taking media attention and soaking up the limelight. But tonight he needs to not do that. Tonight needs to be all about Joe. Frankly, the first debate, should have been all about Joe too, because he's not very good at talking. So if you let Joe Biden talk, he's going to end up making gaffes. But we're way past trying to bait Biden into making gaffes. Right now, Biden needs to come up with answers for his corruption. He's not going to have any good answers. So he comes out and he makes a statement, and then it becomes clear that, like, wow, this guy doesn't have anything to say. He's literally, like, it's just, it's true. There's nothing that he can say to defend himself. Then things are going to get very interesting. And so I do agree with the school of thought that says that the debate, muting everyone's mics while the other guys are talking, that's kind of a blessing. Because what Trump can do is whenever his mic is turned on, he can talk about this scandal. Not talk about Hunter Biden. Say how Bobulinski has said that, hey, Hunter Biden here just seems to be, an intermediary. He's a cutout for Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the real puppet master in all of this, and that he is a corrupt politician just like all the rest of them. And then as soon as Trump is done talking, it can go back to Joe, and Joe can totally ignore what Trump said. But probably what'll happen is Joe Biden will fly off the handle. He'll get upset. Joe Biden has a temper. At least he used to. I mean, maybe he's calming down a bit in his old age, but Trump needs to provoke an angry response from Biden over this issue, because again, even if he has some kind of canned answer thing planned out, I don't think he'll stay on script if he gets angry. And two, how good can his canned answer be? What can you say about all this? Is he going to come out and try and impugn the integrity of Tony Bobulinski? If that's the case, then Bobulinski's probably going to go on TV and slam him and try and get all interviewed by as many people as he can, which again will look very bad for Joe Biden. So I don't think they even want to impugn the integrity of Bobulinski. I don't think they want to bring him up. I don't think that they want to promote this guy's status at all, because what he said is very damning. And so the more attention and limelight they get shed on that, the worse. So that's about all I have to say for today. If you get anything of value out of this video, I'd appreciate you clicking that like button and sharing this video. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe, because I do upload every day and I'd hate to have you miss one. So I'll see you folks back here tomorrow.